Erev Tov, Rabbi. Let's continue with the topic of Chanuka. It's coming up very soon, B'ezrat Hashem. So let's talk about it a little bit. So yesterday we talked about the proper time to light the Chanuka candles. Today I want to talk about the proper place, proper placement. Where is the best place to light? So first of all, right, we have to know one thing that has changed from the time of the Talmud. The times of the Talmud, things were different. The purpose of the Chanuka candles was different than it is today. That's what all the poskim say. What does that mean? At the times of the Talmud, the main point was to do Pirsumei Nisa. What does that mean? To show the people outside who are passing by, in the streets, to show them the nest, to display to them the nest. Pirsumei Nisa. That's what they were trying to do. So therefore, in those days, in the times of the Talmud, they used to light outside. Everybody was going outside. They weren't lighting in their house. Going out, and lighting out there. That's the way it was, Can you imagine doing this in New York with the wind? What's going to happen? Right? So there, we have to talk about that a little bit, right? Whatever. But anyway, all the poskim say, including the Ramah from 500 years ago, right, and onward from all until today, that now the custom has changed. What does that mean? Now the minhag is to light inside. So we're not really lighting anymore so much for the people passing in the street anymore. We're lighting for the family members, they should see the Ner Chanukah. That's the whole point, nowadays. So things have changed, and therefore the placement of the Chanukah candles also has changed. We're lighting inside. So now that we know that we're lighting inside, by the way, now there are some people in Eretz Israel, some Chachamim over there, lately, right? Like Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. He said, now we came back to Eretz Israel, we should go back to the old way. Lighting outside, So there are some people now in Eretz Israel who went back to the old way. Who are these people? Ashkenazim, not really Sfardim so much. The Ashkenazim, over there, many of them are already lighting outside again, What's the reason why? What happened? Manishtana, right? Alayla Azeh. What happened? What changed now, all of a sudden, right? We went back to Eretz Israel. So what? What's the answer? The answer is because they say, the whole reason why we went inside is because there was sakana, because the goyim, they see the Chanukah candles and they start to vandalize, violence and vandalism, all kinds of stuff like this. This was the reason why we went inside, So they say, wow, now we're living in Eretz Israel, so there's no more sakana, so that's it, let's go back to the old minhag. That's what they're saying. You understand? But the truth is, most of the poskim don't agree with this. They say that no, once it came in, that's it stays inside. Doesn't go back outside anymore, right? And there are reasons for this. You know what the reason is, by the way? The reason is because they say, listen, today they may not be sakana, but it may come back one time. You never know what's going to be. How do you know what's going to be tomorrow, the next day, right? Maybe there's going to be lo aleinu, right? Another crazy group, these Arabs, these crazy people like this. Who knows what's going to be? So this is the reason why they say, today there's no sakana, but who knows, So we have to leave it the way it is, because in general, right, there is sakana in places in the world. And you never know when it's going to come to your backyard. That's the thing. And so therefore, keep it the way it is. That's what most poskim say. That's what we do. Most of us, most of us. Okay, right. Anyway, right, so the point is that now that we're lighting inside, there's several ways to do this, inside. The question is, where do you put it? The menorah. Where does it go, right? So one approach is, you're going to put it, like when you're coming in, to the front door of your house. The mezuzah is which side when you're coming in? Which side? Right side, right? So therefore, in order to be surrounded with mitzvot, you're going to put the menorah on the left side, right? I have my mezuzah, I have my right menorah. I'm surrounded with mitzvot, right? Beautiful. So they say that's what you should do. That's one approach. Do it right on your front door, but inside the front door, not outside. Inside, but right opposite the mezuzah, right? Like this, some people do it like this. It's written in Chazon Ovadia, this minhag, So the truth is, it's very interesting because it's written in Chazon Ovadia, Maran, he wrote this minhag, but he himself wasn't doing like this, How do I know? Because I was his neighbor, so I saw. Where was his menorah, Manan? He was in the window. He wasn't putting it on his entrance to his house. And don't tell me he was putting several menorot, one over here. Nobody does this, You don't have to do several menorot. One menorah is enough, Baruch Hashem, for all of us, So therefore, he was doing it in his window. But anyway, there is a custom like this, you could do it like this. The interesting thing is, if you're putting it like this, in your front door like that, what you got to do is, the best way, to do it is, what about the height? How high should it be? So the poskim say the mitzvah min muvchar should be from 3 tfachim to 10 tfachim. This is the best placement, which means it's like low, not so high, like below your waist. 10 tfachim, it's like waist high. 80 centimeters. That's what 10 tfachim is. So it's not so high. Why is it better to put it like low like this? What's the reason why? You know why they say? Because the eye, according to the simple meaning, the eye sees it, better like this, It's like visible to the eye, very rarely visible. So that's why, they say better to put it low like this. There's also other reasons according to the Kabbalah, why it's better to put it low. I'm not going to get into it now. Maybe some other time we'll talk about that, right? That's a darash. Whatever, right? Anyway, so that's the thing. But the thing is, the truth is, that even if you put it higher than 10 tefachim, above your waist, like let's say you put it like next to your heart, right? Right? Whatever. You have Hashem in your heart, your mitzvot in your heart. That's Yatzai Yedei It's not that you don't know Yatzai Yedei But the mitzvah min Abuchar, they say is to put it low. But the thing is, sometimes it doesn't work for most people. Sometimes. You know why? Because they have little children, So if they put it low, the kid will go, knock it down, So you got to be careful, when you have a low something like this fire, it can be a fire hazard. So you got to be careful, you have to know your customer, who you're dealing with in your house, So if you have no little children, no sakana, so you can put it a little bit lower. No, that's very good, Use like a low table, like a coffee table, like something like this, what I mean? A low table like that, and put it there, beautiful. Right, that's one option. The other option is we put it in the window. That's the option number 2. Why is it good to put it in the window? Because now also people on the street, they see it, when they're passing by. So killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Also I did inside, also I did outside, right? Very good. Why not? Dual purpose. That's good.
On the window or by the window?
Inside, by the window, I'm talking. Not like that, right? So you put it on the window, like this, and this way people passing by, they see it, and also people in the house, they see it, so everybody comes out good, everybody won, right? Okay, that's good, Baruch Hashem. So, but the thing is, they say that this is only good when you don't live such a high floor, because if you're living on a very high floor, let's say like 4th floor, so people outside, they're not going to see it, they're not going to be looking up like this, looking at your menorah. So therefore, if you're living this very high, they say, there's no reason to put it in the window, because anyway, they don't notice it, people in the street. It's too high, The eye doesn't catch it. That's the thing, But the truth is that here, we have like in Regal Park, this kind of area, New York City, whatever, right? We have buildings also across, your street, right? Across the street. So those people, they do see it because they're high also. You know what I mean? So there are some people who are peeping inside of people's apartments. There are some people with binoculars. Strange people like this, what I mean? So therefore, there are people who see it when you have a building across the street also. So there, it does make sense still to put it in the window. There is something there. So if you have that, right, somebody across you who can see it from a high floor, it's still worth it to put it on the window, so it's a good thing, And also the window, if it's low, it's even better, like it's a low windowsill. So it's very, very good, right? That comes out perfectly. That's option number 2. As I said, my Rabbi Rabbi, he used to put it in the window. That's what he did. He lived on the 2nd floor. You know what I mean? And I would pass by, I would see it. Oh, there you go, right? Beautiful. Very nice, right? That's the way it was. Okay, very good. So that's option number 2. There's also another minhag. Some people have, from the old days, whatever. You know what they do? They put it on their dining room table. Their Shabbat table. Like this, They put it on the table. Why on the table? Because everybody sees it there, the whole family. You know what I mean? It's like a center of the house, center of attraction, center of attention, on the table. So everybody can see it, and we don't care about the outside, As we said, we're lighting for the inside, not for the outside. So it doesn't matter anymore, outside, who cares? They'll be okay, they'll be fine, without us, I mean? They'll see some other menorah, whatever it is. So therefore, some people have a custom to put on the table. So the truth is, if you want to do this way, or you want to do this way, or that way, right? A, B, C, right? Whatever, it's all good. Everything is good, Baruch Hashem, I personally, I like to put it in the window. What can I tell? This is my minhag. But if you want to do it the other way, that's also good. No problem. You have what Yeshal money smoke. You have what to rely on. That's fine. Okay, good. Baruch Hashem. So regarding the placement, right now, here's the thing. Also, the thing is that when you're putting it outside, as we said, right, the wind blows it out. especially in that weather like this, in New York City, whatever, or even there are places that are worse, like Canada, Moscow, right? All kinds of places like this. It's even worse, So things like this, what you got to do is, if you're putting it outside, you have to cover it with glass, like a glass case. That's what they do. People will put it outside because otherwise it'll blow out. So if you're putting it outside, you have to also get a glass case. So the poskim say the rabbis never obligated us, to get these glass cases. They never said this in the mitzvah. So therefore, we're not obligated, to do this, and therefore we're not obligated to put it outside either. So the truth is that nowadays the best thing to put is to put it inside. It's a minhag according to 99.99% of the poskim. That's the minhag today. Put it inside. I'm sorry, Mikila. So that's the way to do it. Okay, Baruch Hashem. So I hope we understand a little bit, right, about the placement. Now let's talk about the ner itself, right, and the wicks also, right, the petilot. So they say, right, the Chazal. It says in the Gemara and the Mishnah that any wick or any ner you can use for ner Chanukah. It doesn't matter what's it made out of. Is it paraffin or is it wax? Or is it some kind of oil? Cottonseed oil. You can use that too. Whatever you got. The oil that you use to fry your you fry your pancakes. Whatever. You can use that too. That's also good. You can use anything, any kind of oil and any kind of wick.
Not electric?
Electric. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. So the truth is, most poskim say you shouldn't do electric. You should not do electric. The truth is, nowadays, who does electric, right? Reform Jews, like this, conservative, these people who are not very, very super modern people, who are not really attached so much. But the truth is, there are some poskim, I have to tell you, who say that you can use electric. Who is this? Rav Eliashiv? Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, they say you can. But the truth is, since most poskim don't agree with this, and by the way, why don't they agree? What's the reason why they don't agree? The reason is because they say, the way that the Chazal made the takana to light Chanukah candles is, with a wick and with oil, like this kind of a method, So the problem is that when you have electric, it doesn't have that. It doesn't have the oil, doesn't have the fuel, doesn't have the wick, So it's missing the point. That's not the way the rabbis made the takana. This is the reason why we prefer not to do it. But, there are certain places where, it may be a good idea to do, electric. Where? I will tell you. For instance, let's say, this happened to me one time, by the way. Let's say you took a flight, okay? Let's say you're flying to Israel, Whatever, something like this. And you didn't light, Chanukah candles when you were on the ground. So, right, nobody will let you light a fire on the plane, right? If you light a fire on the plane, they'll arrest you. You get arrested. You know what I mean? So a place like that, the only choice you have is to use electric. Maybe you can light your phone or something. Whatever, something. But it has to show that it's for Hanukkah. So if you have something with a battery, with a light, and you can see that it's for Hanukkah. It's not your phone, whatever. The phone is not going to be for Hanukkah. You can't see that. It's not readily visible. It's not readily ascertainable. So therefore, the thing to do, like in a place like that, is maybe to use electric. But generally, we try to avoid this, because most poskim say it's not the proper way. That's the answer to your question.
Rabbi, one more question. Why do we have to light the menorah on the night time? Because it's like a holiday for a whole week.
You know why? Because in the daytime you don't see nothing, right? You don't see it, you don't notice it. At night you notice the candle. You understand? You see. In the daytime you don't see nothing. Because all you see is the sun. You know what I mean? You don't notice it. That's the thing. That's it's not readily visible to the eye. This is the reason why they made it at night. The mitzvah. That's the whole thing.
It's light at night anyway.
Right.
In the morning, in daytime.
Right. So let me just cover one more thing. We'll start Arvid Bezat Hashem. I want to say one more thing. As we said, right, you can use any wick, you can use any oil, you can use any candle you want. But there's one thing, the Chazal said, Mitzvah min ha-mubchar shemen zait. You should use shemen zait, olive oil. So they say, there's a couple of things there with this. Why is it mitzvah min ha-mubchar? Like the rabbi does over here in the shul, right? He takes those, ready-made candles. They're olive oil. They're shemen zait. That's what they are. So use something like that, right? That's good. It's a little expensive. If you buy just a cheap wicks, and cheap oil, you'll save a lot of money. Because this thing is expensive, But it's okay, whatever, whatever makes you happy. You want to spend more money? Buy the ready-made. If you want to be a little frugal, get the wicks and the oil, the bottle, you'll save a lot of money. Whatever makes you happy. That's one thing, right? But anyway, shemen zait, the reason why they say Chazal, shemen zait is the best way to do the mitzvah. You know why? There's a few reasons for this. Number one is because that's what they had in the menorah in the Beit HaMikdash. They had Shem and Zait. You know what I mean? So therefore, try to do like the Bet HaMikdash. That's what they had. It's coming to commemorate that. That's the whole point, right? So use the real thing. Don't do fake news. You know what I mean? Doing fake stuff. That's the best way to do it, right? That's number one. Number two, they say also, Shem and Zait, it burns very bright, It's very bright light. That's another reason why. It's the brightest light, That's another reason why. Also, they say the Chazal, that whoever is makpi to use Shem and Zait, right? Olive oil, whether it's for Nerot Chanuka or for Nerot Shabbat also. Same thing, right? Shem and Zait. Right? Zocher, Yirot Banav Tamid Chachamim. He's going to be, children are going to be Zocher to be Tamid Chachamim. So who doesn't want that, right? You want children to be Tamid Chachamim? So you Shem and Zait, you Zocher, right? That's what the Chazal said. They promised you. So, listen to it and do it. ברוך ה' לעולם, אמן אמן. רבי חנניה אומר, אז הקדוש ברוך הוא עוזר ישראל, לפיכך חיבר להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר בהם חפץ, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר.